Kriya is part of yoga. According to yogic tradition, there are many steps to yoga. Kriya could be considered one of the higher stages, one of the higher steps towards attaining the state of yoga. Yoga can mean so many things, and you ask people what is yoga, they say yoga is physical exercise. Or they say yoga is the attempt to understand the self, or the union of the lower self with the higher self, or the union of breath, body and mind. So many definitions. But in connection with Kriya, yoga would mean the connection of the opening up or connecting oneself with your higher potential. We have achieved certain level of maybe health, some form of achievement as far as self-development is concerned. Right? We want to develop ourselves. Everybody wants to develop themselves because we have heard that we have higher potential. We have read about we have higher potential. But what is this higher potential? This is something which we may need to think about. When some of the mind explorers mention that we are using maybe 2% of our potential. If we are only using 2% of our potential, looks like everybody is almost at that range. So who can use more than that? Who in around us are using more? Is this the prodigy, the child prodigy, or someone who at the age of 3 or 4 can play the piano like Mozart, or can sing so well, or can run below 10 seconds? Are these people who are using more potential? And you look at them, when you study them, you see that they are practicing. The child who can play the piano so well is practicing 7 hours, or the person who is able to run below 100 meters below 10 seconds is practicing for 7 hours a day. Then you say, oh, this is practice. But that practice produces a higher potential, isn't it? The person who is running, who is training to sprint, has produced this. How many people can run below 10 seconds? Can count, maybe less than 5 people. So there is high potential. Now, what can I reach by practicing yoga? Yoga is also practice. What potential can I reach after I practice? So now coming back to Kriya, what can happen when we practice Kriya? One of the things that we have understood through Kriya is that when you practice Kriya, your concentration powers increases. That we know for sure. Your concentration powers will increase. What would happen when your concentration powers increase? You would be able to be successful in anything you do. Right? A person who is successful in any field of work seems to be a person who is able to concentrate. Consistently able to concentrate till they achieve their goal. So willpower has to increase. Willpower will increase. So when we practice your Kriya, willpower increases because you have to sit there and you have to focus and concentrate on a variety of things with the mind. Definitely your concentration powers increase, your willpower increases, your creativity will increase because you are playing with some aspects of your mind which stimulates a higher level of creativity. And creativity is one of the most important qualities anywhere, in any field that you do. Even let's say you say, I'm not working, I'm a homemaker. You still need creativity to keep the children entertained and to keep them well behaved or well aware of their potential to be good. Right? Or this particular homemaker has raised 5 children who are just wonderful in their performance in whatever they do. Very high quality children. This requires creativity, isn't it? Because without creativity, the only thing that a person will do without creativity is force somebody. Because no creativity, force or maybe tie them up if they are naughty, or just give them an iPad. Okay, now take the iPad. Okay, sit down there quietly, listen. Right? Doesn't need anything. Without giving them any tools to distract themselves and engaging them in wonderful activities requires creativity. So creativity increases when you are able to do a Kriya. And the potential of utilizing more of your brain power would also be available. And the two main systems that get connected with Kriya are your chemistry, your biochemistry system, and your central nervous system, your brain and your spinal cord. All of this starts to function in ways which can be tested and verified that higher potential or working takes place in your system when you start to practice. All of this will take place. But one thing that will not take place is the quality of behavior. The prospect of enlightenment. The changes to your personality to be a better or higher quality personality, that does not take place. That requires effort. You have a very fertile soil. You put nightshade, which is a poisonous plant, the seed of nightshade into the fertile soil. You put, let's say, lady's finger, the seeds of lady's fingers. And the fertile soil won't discriminate. It won't discriminate. No, nightshade. No, you are poisonous. I will not allow you to grow. Oh no, lady's finger, very nice, very sweet. I allow you. No, the fertile soil will prosper both the plants. Both the plants will flourish. Same with any of these practices. So I mentioned just now, the person who plays the piano 5 hours a day they train. The person who sprints 8 hours. The person who is doing some aspect of their interest and they're practicing 5 hours, 10 hours, definitely they would improve, they become better in their art. But there's no guarantee that their personality would develop. There's no guarantee that their ethics would improve. That's the reason why in yoga, you see that the yoga teachers, the yogis, the rishis, the saints, not only yoga, but in any other concept of self-development, there need to be some rules and regulations, some concepts, precepts, which allow people to develop their quality. Because as I mentioned, this is increasing the fertility of the brain, the strength of the body, the immunity of the system. But as far as the thinking concept is concerned, there is a need to also structure it. So in tandem with the growth of your intellect or your power or your ability, then we must feed you with principles, with concepts, which as you grow in your potential, you would also be growing in your qualities. This does not come automatically. This does not come with any form of practice. Even if you say someone is able to close their eyes and go into deep meditation, they can come out, they can be another Hitler. Because of no qualities. So that means they are able to go into deep kind of states, but certain concepts, certain hatred towards a certain group will still be there. So you find religious fanatics, right? You have people religious. They can go into their religion, practice their religion, speak about their religion, quote from their religious scriptures. They can quote thousands of verses, not only from chapter 1 verse 1 to chapter 20 verse 30, but they can quote like this. They can quote from chapter 30 verse 30 backwards to chapter 1 verse 1. And still go out and criticize and kill people and motivate people to go and destroy other religions and other races. See, what has happened is they are able to practice deep prayer, deep concentration, deep meditation, but the quality of their thinking was not converted, was not transformed to a beautiful state of love, compassion, kindness. They would be loving, compassionate, kind to a certain group of people. We call them our people. So I am anti this. I'm anti fanatism, extremism. Why? Not because I am practicing Kriya, no. Because in yoga, there are certain principles which has allowed me to think in a universal way. So as I practice Kriya, as I practice yoga, pranayama, meditation, these principles continue to grow with me because they are also planted. When they have planted, when I was planted with the seed of yoga, I was also planted with the seed of love in universal thinking. For everybody. It doesn't matter whether you practice yoga or not, or whether you are of certain culture or following my culture. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you believe in my culture or you follow my system. You can be someone totally opposite of me. We are trained, we are taught in the concept, in the philosophy, to love everybody, to attempt to understand and enjoy the diversity of nature. Not only the diversity of nature in nature, but the diversity of the nature of humans. To be able to appreciate it. The only thing we don't condone is violence. In the name of culture, to be violent, we cannot agree. Everything else, we will celebrate together with you. You see how huge, how wide, how broad-minded the culture is. So as we practice, I will also talk to you. As we practice the techniques which develop your potential, which develop your inner power. Yes, there is something called inner power. We may not be able to measure it right now, but we have devices which has been created to measure the intensity of energy in the body. People like Dr. Hiroshi Motoyama, even in the 1970s, he invented machines which, when you put the device and you hook up to your body, could measure the energy levels in your body. And he found that when he puts it in certain places where the yogis describe the chakras in the spine, in those places where the yogis described thousands of years ago, when he was measuring the intensity of energy at those places in the spine, the intensity was higher than other parts of the spine. Or when you put here, the intensity is higher. You put in between here, it's not. But when you put in the navel, intensity is higher. So this is exactly where the yogis have described the centers of energy or chakras. And our learning is so much about these chakras. These are the potential energy centers. They are in a potential state. In everybody, it doesn't mean that after you practice Kriya, then the chakras appear. No, it is already there in a dormant state. That is the reason why we say we have the potential, but we have to awaken the potential. To awaken the potential, there you need the teacher. So I am here to teach you, to share with you the art of how you can awaken. I cannot awaken to you for you. I can show you the path. I can show you the way. I cannot come to your house and stay with you and wake you up in the morning and then stay with you for decades. I can't do that. So which means that's the reason why they call it self-development. Who is doing the self-development? You. The teacher comes and sparks it. Like a catalyst, we spark it and then we remind you, and then you come for practice, we remind, I remind, and then eventually you are able to orbit yourself. Then this push is like throwing a stone out into the orbit. It's a myth, you cannot throw a stone, But example is that, you throw, you keep on throwing until you reach, you get like a superhuman strength, and then you throw it to the orbit, out of Earth there's an orbit, and once it reaches, forever it's able to orbit, right? Forever, right? Like that, this is how. So the sadhana, the practice is you keep on practicing, and one day it becomes part of you. It becomes such a part of you that you will realize, if I don't practice this particular yoga, asanas, all this pranayama, it feels like I have not eaten my lunch. How would you feel if you don't eat your lunch? Or one of the meals which you eat every day? And if let's say sometimes I say, if you don't eat the lunch, someone will raise the hand, no, I don't eat lunch. Breakfast or dinner or one meal which you don't miss every day, and you should feel like that. You will feel like that. That means it shows that you are feeding a certain system in the body. When you eat, you feed the digestive system, and from there it feeds on many other systems like the food. So like that, when you don't practice, you realize that over a period of time of practicing, you have created a certain system in the body. And this system in the body is called Prana Maya Kosha. Prana Maya Kosha. Prana means energy. Prana Maya, it's not pranayama. Prana Maya means an energy system in the body which grows and develops with the awakening of prana. When you practice yoga, you are actually feeding the body to awaken with this energy. This physical body is called Anna Maya Kosha. Annam means food. Annam means food. You give it food, it is able to grow, it is able to feed itself, it's able to keep it healthy. If we feed junk food, what is going to happen to the body? It's going to become weak, isn't it? It's going to be tired, it's going to be diseased. But if you give it good food, like for example, fruits and vegetables, it's going to grow, it's going to become healthier. Which one? Physically. But will the annam, the food, give you some form of development in higher consciousness? No, it's not going to give you some development. You take this food, you become enlightened. No, thing, isn't it? It's a physical system. Prana Maya Kosha develops the other shift, that is the energy shift. How to develop the prana? In traditional Chinese medicine, we call it Qi. The Japanese call it Ki. In Bahasa Malaysia, we have a word, Tenaga Hayat. In English, they call it the bioplasmic energy or the vital energy, like that. They have different words. But in Sanskrit, in Tamil, or in some of the other languages in India, they call this prana or pranam or pran in Hindi. This word, this which denotes that internal force. In Tai Chi, they use this one. The practice of Tai Chi is to develop the inner force. Qigong, to develop the inner force. So from the Eastern tradition, we have a great exposure to this. In the Eastern tradition, when we speak about Qi, Ki, Prana, we understand. Tenaga Hayat, we understand this one. This is part of our culture. Maybe in some cultures, they have never heard. What are you talking about? We know about, yes, physical strength, brute strength, but inner force, can it be experienced? Why not? How to experience it? Read some books, chit-chat, sit down there and practice. Sit and practice. And we have these practices. These are the practices that you do. And how to do, what to do. Then we have this tradition where you practice and you keep on practicing. You keep on practicing until one day you develop this ability to feel this energy. And I have my students who have said that after some time of practicing, hey, I feel this energy permeating inside me, in my spine, in my mind, in my body. I can feel this. They come and tell me. And it has been consistent. Over the last 20 over years which I have been teaching, this report and data and feedback from my students has been consistent. So when there is consent, and there's no chit chat here to discuss. about this energy. No, they independently come and tell me, and some of them don't know each other. For years they come and just practice, and they don't chit-chat, they don't go out with each other. This is a community of practitioners, but there is no socializing. Many of them come, they are so busy. This is the lifestyle we have. Independently, over the last 25 years, I have seen students who come and tell me, I have this experience, never have I had this experience. Some feeling of energy, and it is permeating. When I practice, it seems to be heightened. When I don't practice, it seems to withdraw. See? It's like food, isn't it? You eat the food, you have this energy to work. You don't eat food for 3 days, you feel tired. Same experience. You see, when I practice this Kriya, this Asana, this Pranayama, I have this extraordinary feeling in my body, in my mind, and this creativity which flows. But if I don't practice, it seems to subside. Hey, you mentioned this Pranamaya Kosha. It is real. For me, it's real. I cannot show it. Can you show me? I cannot show, but I can feel consistently. And yoga, if yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, and these arts are still here after thousands of years, it must be right. Otherwise, the test of time would have finished it off. Whatever we have right now, if it is ancient, Ayurveda, acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, Siddha medicine, all of this, 5,000-year-old history. And there have been many systems. Over the centuries, there have been 200 over religions. Many of the religions disappeared. There have been so many systems of exercise, so many systems of medicine. For thousands of years, how many are still existing? Right now, we can count with our hands. Tai Chi, Yoga, Qigong, Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, Siddha, very few available. They have been tested by time. How much time? 100 years, 200 years? No. 3,000 to 5,000 years. So, what it means, there are definitely results in the practices. Otherwise, we will not have yoga. Artifacts excavated in Mohenjo-daro, in some other places, in the Indian border, in Tibet, in Pakistan, and all these places, shows artifacts of people doing meditation in mudras, eyes closed, Shambhavi, and all, Nasikagra. People have been practicing. This is what we are doing. I'm seated here like this. This is practice. These practices have been practiced for centuries. For not centuries, not 1 century, thousands of years people have been practicing. If it is 2,500 years old, can you imagine? And if the artifacts are dated 2,500 years ago, does it mean at that time only they practiced? They must have practiced another 1,000 years before that. But we are talking about a system which we cannot understand. We don't know, if you ask me, we don't know its potential. We are not so sure about its potential. Many things have been written about them. The literatures are still available. They say you can attain enlightenment. You can attain your highest potential. Your siddhis can come. And the siddhis have been revealed. They say the supernatural powers. Supernatural powers. And they say the supernatural powers are not something very strange. No. When you attain your natural state, these are natural powers. When you have not attained your potential, then these are supernatural powers. They are supernatural powers because you have not attained it. A person will talk about supernatural powers until she or he hasn't attained it. When he or she has attained it, these natural powers. What can happen? We have read about, we have seen some yogis, some practitioners who says that they have become this state. And we have read about some practitioners who say that they have reached such a potential of energy that they have become energy. We don't know. We cannot discount it, can we? We cannot discount anything. There is possibility in everything. Every science fiction story or movie that you have read about or thought about means that someone has thought about it. Right? Someone has thought about this potential. Some people, when you go to the Himalayan regions, when you go to Badrinath and all these places, they will say that, oh, you go up there. There is this yogi who is 700 years old, 300 years old. We may laugh, but they seem to be serious. And they seem to believe that this kind of potential is there. Oh, this person is 1,000 years old. Like they talk about Babaji, is 3,000 years old. And they say that when certain places like Tiruvannamalai, when you go, there are yogis who are meditating, they are invisible to your eyes. And we say, this is all some kind of grandmother stories, myth and all that. But we don't know. We don't know what is the potential that we can achieve. Can we achieve a potential where the practices bring you to such a level of creative state that you can transmute your system to a higher state? If MIT, if universities like MIT and researchers in MIT saying that within the next 30 years we will be able to find technology which can allow humans to live perpetually, with your blood system changed into nanobots. They are exploring that potential. 5,000 years ago, the yogis said the same thing. The yogis say, you can live forever. They say you can live forever. You can live a long, healthy life, and you can. In the Yoga Sutras speaks about disembodied beings. Disembodied beings means what? That the body has been transmuted. That means it's still a being, but you have practiced and you have transmuted. We have saints. We have saints who currently, the last 200 years ago, there was one saint in South India who was rumored to be, and his followers believe that he became light. He became light. That he found the key to transmute his body into light. So, Yoga Sutra says, non-physical state. What does science say? What does quantum physics say? Is that he says that energy cannot be destroyed. Energy cannot be destroyed. Energy changes form, right? Energy changes form. You take water, boil it. What happens? It becomes vapor. And you can change it, or you can change it to ice. Even this we are able to do. This we are able to see the transformation of this human structure. Is it many thousands more times more complex and more sophisticated than the molecules of water? Yes. Is the human system, our organism, is it much more sophisticated than the lizard? It is. Our system is, the human system is the most sophisticated. We have the most sophisticated central nervous system. The lizard doesn't have. But how come the lizard can grow its tail? Isn't that remarkable? An organism which is not as advanced as a human being is able to grow its body part. We should be able to do it. Isn't it so? We should be able to do it. But because we have been conditioned that we cannot. Whole life, our whole life, from the media, from the books, everything has said that you have to depend on medicine. And you have to depend on vaccine, and you have to depend on this particular drug in order to survive this, and very frequently mentioned is that people are dying of disease. People will die of old age, disease, weakness, knee pain, spinal disorder, dementia, schizophrenia, Parkinson's, cancer. This is what every day we are bombarded with. What? Are we told about immortality? Do we read everywhere? You wake up in the morning, news in the news. Oh, potential of immortality. Perfect health. You practice, you develop your prana. You have so much of potential. You take the newspaper, first page. These are the researches that are going on. The potential for self-development, the research on our brains, the potential of longevity and regeneration. Or this plant, are we talking about? No, first page, people are dying. Second page, cancer cases. Third page, COVID. Fourth page, diabetes. Fifth page, suicide. Sixth page, racial discrimination. You switch on your TV, same news that cancer is on the rise, And more hospitals being built. Oh, good news! More hospitals being built. Please buy your medical cards. Increase the limit because you are going to get disease. Oh, I have bought my medical card. I'm paying 500. I have to use it. So I need to use this. I need to maybe get sick and then use it. Otherwise, I'm wasting my money. Can you imagine? Can you see the brainwashing? The brainwashing is that you are weak, that you're going to die, you're going to be diseased, that at this particular age you're going to have cancer, this particular age you're going to have mental dementia, at this particular age your children are going to throw you to the old folks home because you're going to grow old and whatever it is. 50 years old, you're 50 years old. Oh, uncle, auntie, old already. in the yoga literature, they say, hey, we can live for 1,000 years. So which means if you live for 1,000 years, 100 years still a youth. You're 90 years old, hey, still a youth, because you've got 900 years to go. We can rejuvenate, why not? Right? It's comparing a person who feels that 50 years old is old, and then they already plan, okay, 60 or 70 years old, I think I will go off. Compared to one person who says, hey, I think 150 years. It's still conditioning. But to work towards it, right now, how do we rejuvenate? How do we reactivate the systems that we have? This is yoga. This is yoga. Yoga is an art of being able to activate this potential. And we are going to utilize some little bit of postures, some breathing processes, and then concentration and visualization processes to tap and awaken this higher potential that we have. And consistently attempt to practice this training. Otherwise it's a waste, isn't it? We have this potential, and this potential requires some commitment on a daily basis. If I ask individuals who have this desire to achieve their full potential, that would you like to practice? Yes. And how much time are you willing to practice? When I have time. So which means you are interested in self-development, you are interested in attaining this amazing potential that you have. You have so much of desire, and you know it's going to make great changes to your life, that you're going to be healthier, you're going to be stronger, you're going to live longer, you're going to be happier. You are able to enjoy all these faculties inside intact. You're going to have a very strong memory, good memory, great concentration powers. All of these, you're going to look fresh, you're going to feel fresh, you're going to have this ability to heal yourself. All of this potential. I'm so interested and desire this. How much time are you willing to put? When I have time. But all this desire, that means, let me get this. You have all this desire and you believe in this potential, which means every time you are doing this, is it? All the time you are doing some form of self-development. That's the reason when you say that this particular practice when I have time. Because the rest of the time, since you have so much of desire, you are doing all the things that you are doing is attaining this, is it? No. I watch TV. So when you watch TV, it increases your high potential. I talk to my friends. 3 hours a day I talk to my friends. Helps you to awaken a certain silent area of the brain. I spend time in the bathroom. Really enjoy bathing, answering the calls of nature. Relax in the bathroom. Allows you to attain some awakening of prana. I spend a lot of time cooking and eating. Does this awaken some higher potential in you? I go to work. 9 to 5 I go to work. This particular work, is it a work where it creates something? No, it creates a lot of stress. Talk to some economic report, some accounting. So it looks like, and after that I spend about 8 hours sleeping. Not so peaceful. Well, you got so many, you have I got the potential. I believe in the potential that I can rejuvenate, I can make myself self-realized, enlightenment, that develop this inner power, inner strength, inner vitality, creative force. I believe that this the potential of longevity and then transmutation into another state of living, or all of this I have to practice. So you see how kind of a little bit like ridiculous, isn't it? Desire is so high. To put that is not there. So which means there's nothing wrong to spend a little bit of time in the bathroom bathing. There's nothing wrong to watch TV, movie. Nothing wrong to hear a little bit of music. Nothing wrong to speak to your friend for a while, half an hour. Sleep a few hours. But the rest of the time, we invest in ourselves. The most important person in this whole universe is you. Please understand that. When you invest in yourself, after you have invested in yourself, 1 hour of practice every day, consistently, 1 hour, that's 24 hours. That's all you need to do. 1 hour, 1 hour solid. 1 hour or 1.5 hours. In 24 hours, if you ask me, 2 hours is not much. I would put it at 2 to 3 hours for myself. 24 hours, I put 3 hours into practice, I got 21 hours, fine. I am dedicated to this art. But for the majority, I would say at least 1 hour. 1 hour minus 24 hours, got 23 hours, do whatever you want. But that 1 hour is for yoga. For me, I would put 3 hours. For some of the more dedicated practitioners, 2 to 3 hours. But at least 1 hour every day. 23 hours, do whatever you want. Fair. At least there is a momentum and the body believes you. Your mind will be, your organism will respond to your request. Why your organism? I don't think this body is independent. It's only dependent here. Your organism seems to have its own life. Each cell has its own mechanism and its own duration and life and energy patterns, and some form of consciousness permeates every single cell in the body. Every system seems to have its own intelligence, and when it sees this whole, this is the universe, it's a community. When it sees this entire independent consciousness, sees that you have been consistently practicing, and that means you are interested in your evolution. You don't have to say, you don't have to talk about it. It is seeing you every day, whether you wake up in the morning or 2 or in the evening. 1 hour, 1.5 hours, every day you are doing. Your entire organism would be geared to support your desire. Your entire organism will work hard to rejuvenate. Your entire organism would go towards healing certain issues in the body. We don't talk about genetic diseases. It can be dissolved. Genetic predisposition towards genetic diseases can be dissolved by the entire organism. We can re-engineer the system. Genetic scientists are talking about this. They say, hey, it's not so much of nature. They don't think that you are born with this. No. Nurturing can change anything. You nurture it, it can change. It can be dissolved. Your entire organism starts to believe this individual, this being, we have to support. The pancreas will support, the liver will support, your central nervous system will support, your thyroid will support, your pineal gland will support, your pituitary gland will support this desire. Why? Because this desire is packed with practicality. Oh, I can teach you Kriya. I can teach you Kriya. But Kriya is just potential. The potential starts to move into reality when you put into practice. Then you see, transformation taking place. Not that you will grow wings and able to fly, no. Internally you start to feel the changes. And then in your workplace or with your community, your friends whom you are interacting very consistently, they say, hey, some changes in you. We don't know, but there seems to be some changes in you. Good changes. Something remarkable is happening. What is this? You start to ask. You understand? So in the human body, in our body, there are places where we can tap and awaken this source, the source of this power. They are called what? They are called the chakras. In the frontal part, in the frontal body, they are called the triggers or the kshetram. Trigger or kshetram or shadow. In the spine and inside the brain, they are called chakras. They are called chakra. Chakra means it's a wheel. It's a wheel. Chakra means wheel. And when you practice, this wheel, this energy center starts to rotate. It starts to rotate. When you are practicing Kriya, when you are practicing yoga, when you are practicing prayer, when you are practicing contemplation and meditation, it starts to move. It starts to rotate. When it rotates, it spins energy. And the energy that is spun goes and expands into the body and gives you the extraordinary energy to continue to live in a happy way. Now, a person who is sad, pessimistic, depressed, I would say energy level is low. Energy level is low. A person who seems to be aggressive and violent, I would say energy level is low. A person who is steady, who is sober, who is clear, and who is happy, energy levels are high and managing it well. Right? You want energy and you want to manage it. You don't want energy and say that I'm going to destroy, I'm going to be like a Hitler and conquer destroy other people's world. No. We want an energy which is sober and which is in the mode of goodness, creative. And go ahead and conquer the world through your business or through your philosophy or through your talks or through your personality. Go ahead, because you deserve it. You deserve the whole world as a platform for you to speak about it. Everyone, no matter what's the age, color, whatever it is, has the potential to bring good changes to the world. And this is what this entire concept of yoga is. Yoga is not only for yourself. You attain self-realization and then you become a spark to assist others to attain their self-realization. For that we need energy. We have now high needs. We now will increase the energy. We will increase our potential through our practices. And where do we tap the energy? Through the chakras. We tap it through the chakras. We go and communicate with the chakras. We go and touch base with the chakras. We will stimulate the chakras. We will regulate the chakras. We will awaken the chakras, and we will spin this chakra. The chakra will spin and then bring energy to the kshetram, and then the kshetram will supply energy to the entire anatomy, physiology, and all other systems in the body. Alright? So, right now we are going to look at the positions of the chakras and where they are located and what are the names. Right? The second Kriya. The word Kriya means action. It can also mean karma. Karma is a more popular word, karma. Kriya means good action. Kriya means good action. And so this process is called Kriya Kundalini Yoga. Kriya means good action Kundalini means creative force. What is a creative force? The term creativity for me is a description of a feeling or an idea which has never been felt or had before. A creative idea meaning, never had I had this idea before. This is the spark of creativity. And then the next moment, if this feeling and this idea comes again, is no more creative. It's memory. It's memory. I have this idea, I have this feeling, repeat it again, it is memory. This feeling is a memory of that feeling. It's already intellectual. And this idea is an idea of that. But in the concept of Kundalini, in the concept of Kundalini Kriya practice, the feeling can continue to be new. A new feeling can come in. A new idea can come in. A new state can come in. You can experience it again and again, and it's creative because it's something new. And one thing you must have, this possibility has to be open in your mind, that it can be perpetually available. Perpetually it can come. Different feelings, different beautiful feelings, different states, different ideas, different state of being. Even in a state of, you are in a state, that means you don't have any particular thought or particular feeling, but you feel a state, a very interesting state. And it can come again. After a few weeks it can come. This particular feeling can come after a few months. But perpetually over years you feel that it is evolving, it is changing, it is bringing newness. This is what we mean as Kundalini. I am a practitioner. I can speak to you as a practitioner that it is not any of those things which people write about. It is something which is very spectacular and is pleasant and it is nice. It's something which I would wish everyone to have, because it's such a nice gift to humanity. Something which you can feel happy without a new car, without a new gift, without a very palatable food on your table. Normally we are happy, isn't it? When we are happy. We are happy when we receive a gift. When your husband says, "Hey, I brought you a car," hey. Or suddenly you see your bank balance, oh, nice bank balance, happy, only during the time. But I am proposing to you a system where you can be happy even without getting anything. So you are happy. Now someone asks you, "Hey, Mr. Arumugam, why are you so happy?" Nothing? Huh? That means you didn't get a car? No. You didn't buy a new house? No. Didn't get a gift? No. But you're happy? Something wrong. In this world, they say something is wrong with you if you are happy all the time. It cannot be. How can you be happy all the time? Something wrong. Only crazy people are happy. No. Science tells us, now we go back to science, we don't look at how society's behavior is determining how we should be. Science is telling us that our healthiest state is the state of happiness. Science, biology, neurology, the science of your endocrine glands, all seems to tell us that the healthiest state is the happiest state. So the means science is saying, yeah, you have to be happy 24 hours a day. But society will say, if you're happy 24 hours, you're crazy. Because we are not happy. We are only happy when we have something. How come? So they have branded all yoga practitioners and yogis as some crazy. And then what happened over those days? They cannot live in society because society is always looking down on them. Because you are happy all the time, you're crazy, they left. The left society, let me go to the Himalayas, let me go to the forest, let me go to the caves, and I can live there happily. That's the reason why they left. It's not because they could find enlightenment, no. We can find enlightenment here. We can find enlightenment in your place where you are staying, with your family, with your work, whether you're retired, you're working, you're doing business, you have 2 cars, 3, what, you don't have car, doesn't matter. With your daily lives, with your daily food, with everything that you're doing right now, no changes. Nothing. I'm proposing no changes at all, physically, to your lifestyle. No need to wear a special robe, change your name. No need. None of it. As you are right now, with the practices, just doing the practices, happiness would permeate. The soft happiness, joy would permeate. Then you discover, now I have a place where I can retreat to. Before this, my dependency was for a businessman, the bank account balance, end of the month, profit and loss. This is, if it is high, happy, if it is low, unhappy. For a mother or father, is their children. The children study well, well behaved, happy. If not, shattered. You see where I'm looking? We are looking at the anchor. For a film star, is how they look. Oh, if there is a little bit of grey hair loss, oh, depressed, suicidal, or die or something, or didn't get offers. The state of happiness or the idea of happiness is the same. Is the same. But this time, it is not dependent on perishable, fluctuating aspects externally. Because here, internally, it's not physical, it's a non-physical state. And this is permanent, not fluctuating, which means we can be assured of happiness 24 hours a day. It's not a happiness which is like overwhelming. It's a soft, permeating happiness, and it is under control. It is manageable. Any challenges, once we find this, doesn't mean the challenges will end. No, the challenges will be there, but they do not fluctuate you. Good and bad, day and night, cold and hot, friendship and enmity, love and hate, all these will go on, but you can remain steady. If certain issues come, that person looks at you as an enemy or is angry with you and doesn't want to talk to you, fine, this is part of life. But in your heart, you can never hate that person. He's not an enemy. You will always pray for them, okay, you misunderstood me. My love for you is still there. What kind of steadiness is this? Whereas that person, gone. If we are not practitioner, we will also finish it because we don't have an anchor to go back by. We will be consumed by the anger, or by the jealousy, or by the greed. We will be consumed because there is no center to come back to. Here, whatever is happening, you can come back here, you can forgive, forget, move on. This is the happiness that is permanent, and we can manage it, and it can be revealed. It has always been there. This self, this inner potential always has been there, but we have not been taught to realize it. That's the reason why this journey is called the journey towards self-realization. The journey towards self-realization, not through a philosophical process, but through a practical process. Because our path is not jnana yoga. It's not the path of speculation or thinking about, but it's the path of experiencing it. What we are doing is a physical art. It's an extension of Hatha Yoga, because there will be asanas, pranayama and all that. It's an extension of Hatha Yoga. So as you practice your Hatha Yoga, these are the fundamental. As you practice your Hatha Yoga, as you practice your asanas, as you practice your pranayama, as you practice your shatkarmas, as you practice your concentration, as you practice your tratak, as you practice this, then the mind becomes stable and one-pointed. The mind becomes stable and one-pointed, devoid of stress. Let me remind you this. When we speak about concentration through the concept and philosophy of yoga, it is devoid of of stress. You're working in an office, and then your boss comes and tells you, now is 3 o'clock in the evening, right? By 5 o'clock, in 2 hours, I want you to finish this report. You're already packing your bag, slowly want to go back. Slowly packing and go back early. Suddenly boss comes and says, not only does he want you to finish it, but he only gives you 2 hours. And he said, it must be the best report ever in your career. 2 hours. Concentrate. Blissful. Blissful. Will you be able to blissfully concentrate? You will be able to concentrate, yes, because there's an ultimatum. You will be able to concentrate, but filled with stress. Your cortisol levels will increase, highly stressed. You will feel, your stomach churning, your breathing becomes fast and all panicky. Oh, I have to do. He will be able to concentrate and do it, but the result will not be optimal because he is under stress. Concentrated, yes, he is able to do, but in yoga, it's opposite. We will be trained to develop the powers of concentration in a relaxed way. In a relaxed way. Which means eventually, at one point in your life, as you keep training, you will become a cool person, not a cold person. A cool, relaxed, dynamic, creative person who seems like, hey, this person is so relaxed and he seems to be happy, enjoy himself from inside, doesn't need to have things externally, doesn't have to go and do things externally to make himself happy. He is happy, he is creative, and he is a cool character. He or she is a cool character. I think I want to be this person's friend. People want to be your friend because you are cool, relaxed, and sober-minded. And good qualities, high qualities. This is what will happen. You go to any job, you go for any interviews, they will love you. Hey, cool, relaxed, comfortable, creative, confident. No bad habits. Do you drink? Do you smoke? Nothing. All clean, nice. Wow, fantastic. See, you attract. You become attractive. This is called magnetism. Through the practices, you develop personal magnetism. You become attractive because there is this state, because you realized your state. In the world surrounding you, where people are so unsteady, comes one person here, you put this one person absolutely steady in many ways, attempting to find himself or herself, people will gravitate towards this person naturally. He's a natural leader. Naturally. Leadership with humility. It's not leadership with, you put me on a pedestal, I am the only God. All of you are my slaves, you all will never come here. None like that. In the concept of yoga, everyone has an equal opportunity to attain self-realization. It's that the teacher is a bit in front and then he or she has to lead. Not put you always at the back and then commanding you. That has never been our tradition, because our tradition is moksha. Moksha means freedom. Everyone has the potential to attain moksha or freedom or liberation. Not only one special person. It's not this person is born special with some signs in the sky and all that when he or she was born, so that he or she is the only one. No such thing. Everybody, irrespective of what they are, what is their background, whether they are educated or not, everyone has a potential to reach the highest potential, moksha. Everyone is a candidate for self-realization. Enlightenment belongs to everyone. You then have to be born special. You see how powerful the concept of yoga is? Which means, I'm teaching you, I'm your teacher, but we are all equal. We are all equal. And a good teacher would want his student to be better than him. That's it. That's all we want. Right? It's for you to go and do whatever that you are able to do for humanity. Now come back to the subject matter, which is the location of the chakras. Okay, now look at the chakra number 2. We're going to look at the location of the chakras. This is our primary focus. Now you're looking at this diagram, and you know that the dots there, those dots are the chakras. We shall look at the first chakra, which is called Mooladhara. DH is the Dara, Mooladhara. Mooladhara is situated at the base of the pelvic floor region. It is at the perineum. Perineum. For males, perineum is in between the anus and the scrotum. In between the perineum, in between the anus and the scrotum, you have this point which is called the perineum. So that is where the Mooladhara is. For females, it is at the reproductive point, at the cervix, at the reproductive point. So you should be clear that it is not the anus. It's not the anus. For males, it's not the reproductive system. It is in between the scrotum and the anus. This is where the Mooladhara is. For ladies, it is at the reproductive system. At the reproductive. So when they visualize it, the ladies will visualize this particular chakra or this point at the reproductive point. For males, they will visualize it at the perineum, which is in between the scrotum and the anus. In a sitting position, we have a sitting posture which connects the first chakra, Mooladhara, and the second chakra, Swadhisthana, which is at the pubic bone and the tailbone. The second chakra is at the pubic bone and tailbone. So it is like this. This is the Mooladhara. This is the Mooladhara. Consider this as one point. Even though I am putting the thumbs there, 2 thumbs, but it's actually 1 point. And then the other chakra, Swadhisthana, at the back is at the tailbone, coccyx. In front, it is the pubic bone. This is the second chakra. The second chakra is at the pubic bone, and corresponding to it in the spine is the tailbone. But the Mooladhara is only one. Is here. So it goes like that. Right? So this is the Mooladhara at the perineum or the reproductive point, and then the second one is at the tailbone and the pubic bone. So to kind of connect with that, we have a sitting posture called Siddhasana, where we bring the left heel to the perineum. For males, it will be at the perineum. For females, it will be at the reproductive. It's not at the anus. Above the anus. Anus is behind. This will be behind. This is in front. Just next step to the anus is your Mooladhara. So this is the Mooladhara, the place where the heel is touching. The other one, which may be a bit challenging to do, but I will show you, but you don't have to do, will be the pubic bone. Now the pubic bone, you can touch the pubic bone. You can touch the pubic. This is the chakra. But in the sitting posture, we have a sitting process called Siddhasana, which is slightly a bit challenging. And yogi we can practice like this, but it is not compulsory, nor do I use it. I also don't use it during the Kriya practice, because in Kriya practice we use our awareness to touch base. But I'm just showing you that this posture connects our mind to the Mooladhara and the Swadhisthana. See, this heel is exactly on the pubic bone, the other heel is on the perineum. Are we clear about this? So the front is called Kshetram, shadow. Okay. This point is called the shadow. We don't call it chakra. But in some books, some literature, they will call this the chakras. The chakra spins in the spine. The chakra, when you practice, it spins. And when it spins, it spuns out energy. And the energy is stored here in the Kshetram. So the Kshetram is the storage. The spine doesn't store. The spine, the chakra in the spine generates. The storage is in the front. When you look at the system of how it is, this is the most bottom part, Mooladhara. Then it goes to the front, pubic bone. Corresponding to the pubic bone is your tailbone. Right? So this is front. This is back. This is the spine. You see, it's like a triangle. Right? What do we call the second chakra? We call it as Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana. Swa is one word. Thana. Swadhisthana. Everyone please say Swadhisthana. Again. Swadhisthana. This, the front one, is also the same name. Frontal, the trigger, is also the same. Swadhisthana. The word Muladhara, Mula means the first. Mula means the first. Adhara means the foundation, the structure. Adhara. Foundation. Strong foundation. The first and strongest foundation. If there is no foundation, we cannot build anything, isn't it? If we are not physically strong, how to practice meditation, how to practice pranayama? We cannot even sit. So that's the reason why the asanas came into the picture. You practice the asanas, you practice the physical stretches and tone and all that, and then you can sit down and you can do your pranayama. When you do the pranayama, you are able to really stretch your intercostal muscles because you have trained. So this training, the first training strengthens the Muladhara. The Muladhara has to be strong and the fundamentals are there. You build the fundamentals. Remember I spoke about the philosophy of training the mind. That there must be certain principles and concepts. For example, non-violence. We don't go near violence. We manage our anger. If you have an anger management problem, you learn to manage it. You learn to convert it. Any issues that you have, we will try to attempt to change it because we are interested in transformation. Everybody wants to be transformed. They want to reach the higher potential. So this will be a guiding process. Swadhisthana. Muladhara means what? The first. Mula. First. Adhara. Strength. This Muladhara, the first chakra, is related to the element. We have the elements in the body. Earth, element. In Sanskrit, Prithvi. Can you see? Earth or Prithvi? Prithvi is different things. Prithvi. The first element is the earth element, Prithvi. It is from the Muladhara down to the toes. The whole system from the perineum or the reproductive organs and the eliminatory organs, specifically the eliminatory organs. From the eliminatory organs, the anus downwards to our toes is the earth element. So which means in therapy, in the art of rejuvenation and healing, if a person has issues from the anus downwards to the knees and ankles, they will practice dharana or concentration on the Muladhara, Yantra or Mandala, which we will learn on the 15th Kriya. On the 15th Kriya, we will learn the Yantra, the geometric or the Mandala, which is more of a circle with some items inside for visualization. So to awaken and tap the earth element for healing and rejuvenation, or for steadiness, for centeredness, For grounding, there is a mandala, and not only the visualization, but there is a word. There is a word which is also repeated with the visualization, and that is called a mantra. A mantra. Man means mind, tra means that which allows the mind to expand. We want an expanded state of mind, isn't it? We want to have greater potential of the mind. The sound, the mantra gives us that potential. Mantra means that which allows the mind to achieve its potential. Mantra. So the mantra here, the mantra, I will tell you on the 15th Kriya. Right? For now, we don't need the mantra. For now, the subsidiary mantra which helps to awaken the Muladhara is Muladhara. That itself is the mantra. There's a reason why when we are practicing, it's not only locating the point, but we must also mentally repeat the name. Muladhara. When you say Muladhara, your mind goes to that point and you say mentally Muladhara. Sometimes I'll ask you to say Muladhara, Muladhara, Muladhara. And you have to say it. So you need to memorize. And very few things you need to memorize in Kriya. And one of it is the name. And number two is the location. Location very easy to get it. Muladhara. Then we go to the Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana is related to the water element. Apas. A-P-A-S. Apas or water element. Connected to the reproductive system. The apas element or water element is connected to the reproductive system. Any ailments related to the reproductive system, any issues, and the reproductive system also has a lot of psychosomatic issues, psychological issues. And due to some maybe childhood trauma or sexual issues or some kind of bad experience sexually, then they will have either repression or depression, or some it may show up even in inability to have childbirth or some other issues related to the reproductive system issues. And even at a certain age, they may have incontinence, inability to control the urinary process. So all of this is due to a defect or issue in the energy levels of Swadhisthana. So what in yoga therapy what we do is we have a mandala which you visualize and a mantra. For now, our mantra, the subsidiary mantra for Swadhisthana is Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana. Swa means self. Swa means self. A place where we attempt to understand ourselves. In this branch of yoga, Kriya Yoga, the Muladhara, the concentration in Muladhara, the earth element gives you grounding. For this person, very steady. As a yoga practitioner, we will say that this person's Muladhara is very strong, very steady. If too steady, also not good. For example, this person has so much of potential, has gone for courses, has studied, he has taken not only his degree, but he has gone to masters and he has gone to PhD and he has gone to post PhD, so many things, but still in the same place, in the same department. Hey, why don't you apply? No. I am solidly in this place. I am solid, super solid. I will learn everything, but I will remain in this place, in this particular floor, in this particular company forever. Too solid. Okay. You want to be grounded. But when there is an opportunity, why not you go there and become grounded there? You know, it's kind of an evolving, steady, evolving. So in each of the chakras, there are certain things which we need to balance. Remember, we reject fanatism, right? We reject fanatism. We embrace creativity. But creativity without some form of grounding is also very destructive. So we need to have that balance. Balance between logic and creativity. So in Swadhisthana, fluid. It is movement, momentum, creativity. If Muladhara is weak and Swadhisthana is strong, all the time moving to new job, new relationship, new everything, thinking about migrating to this country, going here, going there. Where are you today? When they call you, hey, where are you today? They know this one is too creative, too flowing. Which country are you in? Which job? Who's your new wife? That kind of is too much. They themselves can't handle. Have to have this balance. When you are steady, at the same time you are flowing. When we practice the asanas, these two chakras come into play. Right? When we do the stretches, we are flowing, we are moving. We are moving into the asana. And we remain steady for a while. Not for 3-4 hours, for a while. So there is fluidity and there is a steadiness, an element of steadiness. So both combine. Otherwise I'm going to be too aggressive in my steadiness or too much of moving. What are you doing? What yoga is this? Flowing. Has to be a combination of steadiness, sthiram, and fluidity. And life becomes nice. I am moving, my life is flowing, but I am steady. There's very nice things which I am doing every day. I am practicing my yoga every day, but I am enjoying the feeling that comes from yoga. Life is flowing, is flourishing, everything is so nice, and everything is happening inside as well as outside. See? Combination. Swadhisthana in a deeper level of yoga is also the seat of the subconscious. The seat of the subconscious, where you can see but you are not so sure because it's half. What is there in water? Dissolved actions. Everything that we do, please remember this, everything that we do now, everything that we have done in the past, everything that we are going to do in the future is all recorded by not angels. I'm not going to talk about religion, but if you believe in that, there is one thing that you also need to know. Your central nervous system records everything. Your central nervous system records every single action in your life. And since we are all connected, entire humanity is connected at an unconscious or subconscious level. At an unconscious level, we are all connected. And that connection will allow an exchange of information where your cause and effect will cross into somebody's cause and effect, and there will be exchanges. And we think somebody is governing from the sky and the heavens and then giving you all the rewards or punishment. No, it is done by our own self. Our central nervous system is so sophisticated, our consciousness is so sophisticated at the unconscious level, everything is being balanced, every account is being structured. You can be here and your account could be calibrated with someone in Russia, and 10-20 years later you meet somewhere in between in Japan and something will happen and the accounts is settled. That is how sophisticated our system is. So it's all science. It's all science. It's not somebody there sitting and doing some record or some angels writing down and all that. So that I think is your belief. But this is what yoga speaks about. And this particular system of accounts is kept in the Swadhisthana. This is according to the system that the yogis have structured. Because of when they are doing meditation, they could most probably able to see This is the dissolved karmas, and what they do, they are able to rectify through meditation. Now, an action has been done. For example, you come out from your house and you share a wall with your neighbor. Maybe you don't know them well, just moved in. In this wall, there was a vase, a pot, diya pot. It fell to your house, hit your car. It has hit your car, and it's early in the morning. You look, there's nobody, but you are extremely angry. You're extremely angry, and you feel so angry that you want to punish them. Or you want to scold this person. When this person comes, I'm going to scold him. I'm going to say that, some things which I'm going to hurt him. He has hurt my car. And by hurting my car, he has hurt me. I am going to hurt him. This happens naturally, right? Kindergarten behavior. In kindergarten, somebody pinches, this child pinches that guy will pinch him back. After canteen, I will pinch you. This kindergarten behavior continues until they are 80 years old. They could be the presidents of countries, they're still behaving like kindergarten children. Can you see? You beat me, I will beat you. You scold me, I will scold you. This is kindergarten behavior. So, this behavior permeates everywhere here. Everywhere you see somebody scolds, they want to fight. So, here, the pot fell, it has hurt my car, I am going to scold you back. You just wait. Now you go back, this person goes back into the house. And then he's reminded, hey, this is Saturday morning, I have to go for class. Master Mani's class, I have to go. After I come back from the class, I will take care of it. So go to class, come to class, practice, and then I teach meditation. Let's say at the end of the class, I say, do this meditation. So this person is sitting down in the meditation, and then I am talking about love everybody and all that. You are thinking about hitting that person. So the thought comes. The pot fell, it hit my car, and this person is coming, I'm going to scold. So you think here, I'm going to scold him, you're visualizing it, you're scolding him. And then suddenly I say, love thy neighbor. I say, love thy neighbor. Hey, my plan now being disrupted by my teacher here, disturbing me. And there's love all. And then talks about humanity, love, compassion. And then as these images are floating around and these words are coming in as you are contemplating, as you go deeper and you feel calmer, and after the exercises, your stress, your anger all has dissolved, you go home, you see him, you say hi. Dissolved. The karma. See, you have taken action to dissolve the karma, isn't it? The karma dissolved where? The reaction dissolved where? Here, in meditation. If it was not dissolved here, the person would have come, scolded. If that person is also an angry person, they would have fought, and then police would have come, and this person, if he hit, they could have been arrested, spent few months in jail, whole life would have destroyed. You see, simple thing. A simple incident could have destroyed an entire life. Some people have been killed due to this kind of misunderstanding. But did you see, meditation dissolved it? Meditation dissolved the karma. It is right that the yogis have stated that meditation can dissolve the karma. The karmas get dissolved in Swadhisthana, which means even if you don't do a contemplation or an exercise of dissolving that particular thought, just by focusing on the Swadhisthana, a particular karma or reaction which is going to come to my life can be partially, or if there is an intense activity, can be totally dissolved. So there are two ways of dissolving karma. One is through dhyana, through meditation. Another one is through karma yoga. Karma yoga means doing good deeds. Good deeds which you are not expected to do. To a person or community which you are not related to. If I am going to do an activity, you say, oh, this is a Malaysian, I want to do because he's a Malaysian. Hey, I'm an interested party. This is called seva, just a little bit of service. It's not karma yoga. just a little bit of service because I'm an interested person. I take my photo here, this is my check, this is seva, this is not karma yoga. But if I go and do something of a person who is of not my same color, not of my particular culture or language, somebody totally not related, there is no agenda, nothing. It just happened that this person needed this assistance and I go and do it. I don't see the color, I don't see the race, I don't see the gender, I don't see the nationality, I don't see the community, I don't see the religion. I just see that this need has to be done. This is karma yoga. Everything else is just a kind of a superficial process dominated by my skin, my language, or same skin, same language, same culture, same religion, same race, same nationality. Where is compassion and kindness is driven by something else. That cannot come under the karma. You cannot score points, there is no merit. But if it is for something which is totally just drawn, you are just moved by compassion and love and kindness for humanity, or for that cat which is trapped in the drain, or for that bird which is crying because the mother has been eaten by somebody and it is suffering, you go and take and you nurture it and you nurse it. This is karma yoga. And that then dissolves many of that accounts in the Swadhisthana. Are we clear about this? Then we go to the next chakra. This is the back. Manipura at the navel. Now this is Manipura chakra. Kshetra. At the back is in the spine is your Manipura chakra. Spine, this is the navel, both corresponding. Manipura chakra, in the study of elements, represents the fire element, heat, fire element or heat. Tejas, T-E-J-A-S, Tejas. I didn't give the name. This is traditionally, this is the name. For thousands of years, this has been the name. Mani means? Mani. Almost. Money here means jewels. Precious stone, gemstone. A very precious and valuable gemstone. Pura means city. In those days, we used to call Singapore as Singapura. Pura means city. City of what? City of lions. Singapura was city of lions. Therefore, Manipura is city of jewels, city of gemstone, city of wealth, city of riches. So, which means this particular chakra is connected with wealth, opulence, fame, fortune, reward. And you can see, when you study the chakra system, this is right in the center. Right in the center. There are two chakras above it, two chakras below it. So right in the center. And this could be one of the most powerful chakras for our daily living. This could be one of the most important chakras for us to concentrate and practice upon, because it gives you a balance of spirituality and material. Spiritual wealth and material wealth. This is what we want, isn't it? We want a stability. Right? So many individuals are doing practices concerning Manipuraka, because it also allows you to discover the body system. Which nadi? Nadi means when you go to the traditional Chinese medicine clinic, you will see a photo with many lines, and then dot, many lines. These are the meridian points and the meridian pathways, right? The liver meridian pathway, or the pancreatic pathway, or the pineal gland pathway, like this. You will be able to discover those through the practice of concentrating on the Manipur chakra. This is also the center of Tejas, the solar power. Now, physical and mental vitality comes from this. But this has to be contained also. Has to be contained in a way where it can bring greater balance. So there's a reason why in our practice we go through all the chakras. We don't only focus on one chakra, but you can spend more time on a certain chakra which you feel is needed for that time. If you feel unsteady, then which chakra should you practice? Muladhara. If you feel that you want to be more fluid in your actions, you want to be more creative, then it is Swadhisthana. But if you want to give a speech or you want to go and deliver a very strong message, then it should be Manipura. A strong message. That means your speech and your power comes from the gut, from the stomach. Strong. Otherwise it's more vocal. It's like guttural. Comes from your being. Manipura is a very strong, very powerful chakra which gives you an opportunity to attain success. Is anything wrong to be successful? Is it wrong to be successful?
No.
It's not wrong to be successful. But to be successful through corruption is wrong. To be successful through exploitation is wrong. To be successful through stepping on other people's neck or head is wrong. Or through prejudice, or through hatred, or through some form of politicking, all of this wrong. But if it is through your effort, through respecting nature and humility, I can tell you can go and be as much as successful as you want. No issue about it, because you deserve all the support and success because you are a good person. You are bringing so much of goodness to this world. You can go and conquer the world and do good for the world. You deserve it. Understand? So all those powers, yes, you can achieve. And this is based on Dharma. Dharma means right action. Good actions and right actions. So that is Manipura. The next one. Center of the chest. Now this is the sternum bone. This is the sternum right in the middle. You touch this bone here. Okay, you have this bone. There is a beginning and an end. It's like a pit here. At the bottom is a pit. At the top here is just below the collarbone. Just below the collarbone. This particular, there's a kind of elevated bone here, right? So this whole range here, right in the middle. Right in the middle is your chakra. Right? This chakra is called the Anahata. A-N-A-H-A-T-A. At the back chakra, in front is your Kshetram. Anahata. Anahata chakra is also called the heart chakra. Manipura is also called the solar plexus. Though the point of solar plexus is almost at the sternum, but sometimes in some literature they call it, but we don't get confused with that. Solar plexus, remember this is on the navel. The navel, Manipur. This one is on the chest. At the same level as your heart. Anahata, the meaning of the element is air. Air. Angin. Air. Air element. Right? Air. Water is air. This is different. This is air. So air element. Expansion. Air is expansion. Air is feeling light, floating. That's how, a person who has awakened his heart chakra, they will be prone to want to hug. Their expression is very wide. They are healers. There's a lot of love. They emanate a lot of love. They are healers. They can heal through their words, through their touch. Some of the best doctors most probably have that kind of natural tendency towards this chakra, heart chakra. So much of love that the moment you go into that particular healer's place, or the particular medical practitioner's place, or alternative therapies, whoever it is, the moment you go in, you speak to them, you feel almost like 50% of your issue is gone. Right? So, it is an expansion of compassion. This air. The word anahata means unstruck. This one is striking, right? When I strike, when I cut, when two objects meet, there is sound. Anahata means without the sound is produced. Without striking, a sound is produced. The anahata means unstruck, a sound is produced. Of course, we all know when we put our hand here, when we put a stethoscope here, the sound is produced. Dum, 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 dum. We are not beating like this in order to produce. It is happening by itself. So they have brought this term anahata, unstruck. There is no need. There is no need to prompt you to do a compassionate act. Again, coming back here, there is no need to push you to do an action which is compassionate. It should be done as nature itself. That is the reason why we call this unstruck. In order, when somebody comes to you for healing, you are compassionate. You bring them to a place where they can get healed, or to a hospital, whatever that you do is, your compassion is moved by itself. Nobody needs to motivate you. You don't have to go and attend a seminar or a sermon in order to be motivated to do social service or good service. It has to come from the heart. Unstruck, unmotivated. Doesn't matter whether you are reading a book or you are watching a series with motivation, nothing at all. You just naturally want to do that. You just naturally are moved to do the right thing based on a very beautiful heart. A beautiful heart. Isn't this what the world needs? The world is yearning for beautiful hearts to be placed amongst them. That's the reason why when we see a child, 3-year-old, we gravitate, because that child doesn't have any prejudice, nothing. What color you have, nothing. 2-year-old, 3-year-old, not contaminated yet. Unfortunately, I have to use the word yet. Because the parents will say, hey, this particular person of this particular, you understand what I'm saying? This one, no. Hello uncle, hello auntie, how are you? Quickly go and sit on your lap. No fear. 5-6 years old, lot of fear. Hey, don't go, like these kind of things. Right? So this is how the compassion has to be. Now, having said this, the balance is also Muladhara. Manipura also balances it. Manipura balances it. Swadhisthana will tell you how much compassion to who. Now, if there is no balance, there is no balance, I tell you what happens to anahata. Anahata is open, yearning for love, yearning to give love. Right? Somebody sends a message through Facebook. Hey, you look very beautiful. I think I'm in love with you. You've never seen the person before. Facebook, a message comes, I have been following you and I think I'm in love with you. So your heart chakra open one. Most welcome. I accept your love. After 2 days, I need 10,000 ringgit. I'm in a trap since you love me so much. Of course, now 20,000. And you see in the newspapers and reports where this person lost entire life saving to this particular person, never have seen before, Facebook connection, but so much of What happened? What happened to the other balancing? Where is your grounding? Where is your awareness? This seems to be not so correct. Hey, something is wrong here. Can I investigate further or not? No? Then you go and then you bring the other faculties, common sense, awareness, cause and effect, groundedness, so that you cannot be exploited. This is what we must be very aware of. You cannot be exploited. You have 10 ringgit in the pocket. Someone comes and says, hey, I have to go somewhere here. Can you give me 10 ringgit? You give 10 ringgit, the whole thing. And you see him going to the wine shop and drinking wine. What have you done? Is this compassion? Compassion. You want? Why do you want it? You want to go by bus? I will come with you and buy the bus ticket. Okay or not? You say, no. What happened? So, compassion has to have some form of common sense. There must be a balancing process. Love has to have some form of awareness. Now you go down the street, somebody comes and says, hey, can I come with you? Can I go in your car? Can you give me a lift? It's dangerous, right? You are loving, compassionate, kind, but you also must be aware that not everybody is thinking like that. There can be people who are just deliberately waiting to hurt or injure you or to do some bad things to you. So you must be aware. I'm not saying hate them or be in fear all the time, but be aware. Be aware that there is good and bad in this world. Be aware, but don't be so obsessed by that. By the time you want to cross the road and back, it's too much. You are aware. Okay, you are aware there's a motorbike coming to the front side. Not to judge him or her, but just to be aware of. So you see, the play of all of this has to come into structure. If we are not trained through some form of education to be like this, then the chakras will train us. The rotation and the meditation on this will train us to have this kind of wisdom. Where the literatures all came from, all the literatures of yoga all came from after the yogis or the rishis or the seers or the saints, after they have meditated, after they have gone deep into their prayer or meditation, when they came out, these words started to flow from their consciousness. They didn't go to university. There was no universities 5,000 years ago. There was no learning. Many of them were illiterate if you compare to them now. But such profound knowledge, such profound words came from where? Where did it come from? It came from here. This chakra revealed its potential. Remember I mentioned to you, we have the potential. The potential is not only getting your degrees and going out and taking courses after courses and watching YouTube after watching another YouTube or book after book or hearing this person talk, that person talk, and everything is somebody else's knowledge. No, the moment you sit down there and you start to close your eyes and you start to practice, you will see, you will feel, and you will experience another level of knowledge emanating from inside, and you will feel so connected with this. The only way anyone is going to be completely satisfied with any answer is if it comes from them itself. Otherwise, you will see, how many people have you seen who says that, I read this book, this is it. This book has given me all the answers. I am completely satisfied. 6 months later, I'm getting another book. Hey, what happened? This book. 3 years later, another. You see, can never satisfy unless it comes from inside. Or I am following this particular teacher, this particular guru. Oh, marvelous, no? Really? Yeah, okay, good. 3 years later, oh, how is your guru? This one, another saint. A few years later, now I think I am following 3. Attempting to find some form of answer, some form of solution to, this is going on, this is going to go perennial. And one day they will not find anything, pack up all their bags and go and stay somewhere in one particular ashram or monastery, say that I surrender, cannot find any answers. And go there and stay and then find that even there cannot find the answers. Because the answers is not out there. The answer is inside. There's a reason why Lord Buddha sat down under the tree. He didn't go to the universities or go and find somebody. No, he said, I'm fed up with every of these things. I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to find it. He sat down, he meditated for days or I don't know for how long, and the knowledge came. And this is classical in almost all of them. All those great seers, you found the same thing. Meditate and they found the answer. They meditated, they went into some form of seclusion and they dived inside, they found, and then they came back to the civilization. They came back and they started to teach. You can study the entire history of all of these people and you will find there's one point where they were practicing. Where did the answer come from? The answer. So your answer, your salvation will only come from inside, and that is the only time you will be totally satisfied with the answer. And everybody would be interested to listen to your story. Right now, everyone is interested to listen to your story. Story which comes from where? Comes from inside, because that will trigger them to find their own story, isn't it? We are reformers. You must be a reformer. You must be a reformer, and you start reforming. First, you reform who?
Ourselves.
Okay, I thought you'd say you want to reform your spouse. Yourself first. Yourself first. Okay, Anahata. And then from Anahata, we go to the throat. Okay, it's not the throat, it's not the throat, it's the pit of the throat. The next chakra is at the pit of the throat. This one here, the jugular notch. This particular place is where the chakra is. If it's not here, we don't focus here, we focus on this point. Okay. And then from here, you go to the back, and then you find the C7. The C7. The C7 is the point where you stretch your neck, and then you place your hand at the back of the neck, and there's one bulging vertebrae. Can you feel that? Yeah. There's one bulging vertebrae which is C7, and that's where the chakra is. So at the back is the C7, and in the front here is this point here. Visuddhi. This is Visuddhi, yeah? Visuddhi is this point. Visuddhi. And this chakra is called Visuddhi. Visuddhi. Everyone say Visuddhi. V like a V, Suddhi. The Visuddhi. The Visuddhi. So there's a D. Visuddhi. Everyone say Visuddhi. Again, Visuddhi. And this is at the neck, at the C7 at the back. And this point here. Now, Visuddhi means cleansing. Suddhi means cleansing. So therefore, it indicates that this is the place where cleansing takes place. Cleansing takes place. It's a place where in yogic physiology of the pranamaya kosha or the energy body, this is the place where cleansing of the nadis or the meridian. Remember I mentioned about the meridian pathways in the Chinese traditional clinic. You see all the lines flowing. So those lines are cleansed when we touch base with the Visuddhi, because at the Visuddhi, the yogis have mentioned there is a particular nectar which flows and cleanses. No matter how much poison there is, this place can be cleansed. There's a reason why in yoga practice, when we wake up in the morning, when we wake up, we thank nature and the universe for another day to live, and then we do the cleansing to clear the nose so that your breathing becomes optimized. Because our life depends on breathing, then we go to the bathroom and we put our fingers and milk the tongue and spit out the first phlegm, because overnight there has been some form of detoxification in the body, right? This detoxification is due to the phlegm, pitta, the kapha, and movement of heat, and maybe food which has not properly, which is not good, not a very healthy food, and it will come up in the form of phlegm. And that's the reason why before you drink anything, you have to throw the phlegm out. So this is Suddhi, cleansing. We put our tongue, we put our fingers, and then expel the first phlegm. And it's also a good practice to scrape the tongue, because there is also toxins there. And then after that is the secondary, is your massaging the gum and all that, and then washing the body. So this washing the body, massaging the gums, cleansing the throat, cleansing the stomach, cleansing the nose, cleansing the intestinal tract through the 6 chakras, doing Trata to cleanse the mind, Kapalabhati to cleanse the nose. All of this is part of Visuddhi, cleansing. We keep ourselves clean. Physically, mentally, emotionally, we keep ourselves clean. And when we are articulating, when we are talking, we do our best to speak in a way which is cleansing. We speak in a way which is cleansing. Your success depends on what you think. When you think good about another person, you are assured of success. Isn't that interesting? When you're thinking about, I wish my friend, my brother or sister is successful in her studies, or I wish this friend of mine to be successful in her business, in her career. You're thinking about what? Thinking about success, isn't it? You are thinking about success for them. What will happen to you? You will also attract the same vibration. So it is so important to think in a positive way. This jealousy will only have so much of pain to you. When we are thinking negatively about anybody, you will have some pain. That is the reason why people who are racist are never happy. Never happy. People who are religious fanatics are never happy because they have hatred. Right? They hate so much. That's the reason why, please, none of us should ever talk bad about any race, because it is stereotyping. You know, even in your own particular culture, you have bad people. How come we are stereotyping in a particular way that this particular race only has some bad things? So we cannot stereotype, but we cannot condone injustice, and that we cannot condone. But when we say we don't condone injustice, we move towards fighting the injustice, not the persons, not the people. No, we will fight the injustice. That means it is not personal. It's not person to person. The fight is not with a particular race or religion or nationality. No. It is with the attitude that you have. It can be anybody. If your attitude is not right, then I will move towards rectifying it. Visuddhi. So my speech is inspiring. My speech is allowing you to attain a greater state of evolution. It sets you into a prospect of finding the truth. So that is what you use these vocal cords for. This is what you use your brain power, your intellectual power to do something good and right. Transformation has to happen when? Tomorrow, next year, 10 years later, or during the New Year resolution? No. Now! Transformation happens now. The moment you have an information which is pure, which is good, you transform right now. This is in Sanskrit, in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, we call it Parinama. Transformation. This is the main word that you have to think about. I am going to perform transformation every moment in my life, and it's going to be a beautiful life. Transformation every day, every moment, every conscious moment that you have. I am going to transform. I am going to transform myself as I am transforming myself. Everybody around me will get an opportunity to see for themselves the transformation that is happening in you. You become in this. You don't even have to talk so much about it. It just happens. That's what I'm saying. But please stop, man. Please stop. Please communicate. Please write about it. Please produce. Please produce documentaries and all. You have that technology. We do this. We use the technology to go and transform. Transformation. Parinama. Visuddhi. What do you think about that? Visuddhi chakra. So this is related to the Anahata chakra. Manipura chakra is related to the organs in the abdominal region. Your digestive system, especially your digestive system, your pancreas, your liver, all of this is component of the Manipura. Your Anahata is your heart, your respiratory process, your lungs, your respiratory, your heart, your arteries, all that is related to Anahata. Visuddhi is related to these, the vocal cords, to the thyroid and the parathyroid. And what about the Anahata? Which gland is associated with Anahata? Very important gland. The gland that is called thymus. Thymus gland produces antitoxic antibodies. Why I mention antitoxic antibodies? Because antibiotics produce toxins. So here we are able to produce antibodies. When the heart chakra is awakened, we will be able to activate the thymus gland. And when thymus gland is activated, any form of issue, any fever, any cold and all that immediately will stimulate the production of antibodies. You don't have to rush to the hospital to buy antibiotics. No, you have it within you. Antitoxic antibodies can be produced here. This is not so activated because we have been trained immediately to go and take some medicine. So this one has become dormant. Nothing can match the power of the antibodies produced by the thymus gland. So here, thyroid, such a common issue now. Everybody seems to have some kind of thyroid issue. Thyroid. I have seen Kenny's friend cured of thyroid issue by coming to my class here. He came to class for some other reason, but found the thyroid issue no more. So which means it is some form of stress related also. So many of these problems related to the glands are related to states of mind. It cleared his mind, the thyroid problem disappeared. Supposed to be lifelong. The doctor said lifelong you have to take this medicine. 6 months later gone. Now almost 3-4 years with me, I think. No, there's no recurrence. Finished, completely gone. So, thyroid, parathyroid and the vocal cords. Now we come to the main areas. Because main areas due to its location in the brain. From the Visuddhi, we are going to the next 3 chakras. There is the front. From here we go, the mouth, then the nose, and the forehead. Okay, from the back we go to the head, we go up, and we come down. Okay, can do. Alright, so this is the eyebrow center. Center of the eyebrows. This is the front, right? This is called Trikuti. Technically, we may assume that the chakra is here, correct? Because everything is at the back way. Where does the spinal cord end? See, the spine goes here and it doesn't go up here. The spinal cord goes and ends around here. So, the chakra is here and not here because this follows the spinal cord. I mean, thousands of years ago, they had this knowledge. They had this knowledge where the spinal cord is, where the pineal gland, pituitary gland, they had this knowledge. Very interesting, because this pineal gland, pituitary gland, only discovered by science maybe about 60 years ago. Exactly where the yogis have mentioned about the pineal and the pituitary gland, exactly anatomically where, physiologically where they have described thousands of years ago. Modern medicine only discovered it about 60-70 years ago and still attempting to discover. Exactly where the spinal cord ends is where the chakra, but they have a different name. Here Visuddhi, Anahata, Manipura, Swadhisthana, right? But here it's a different name. It's called Ajna. A-J-N-A. Ajna. Right at the level, just if you can imagine, from the center of the eyebrows to the back, center of the eyebrow to the back, right in the center of the head, and at the topmost part. And if you drop a pin, it will reach exactly where the Muladhara is. So the axis is, the line is Muladhara, Ajna, and the crown chakra is in one line. Huh? So this is Ajna. The word Trikuti means the third eye. Trikuti here means the third eye. Why the third eye? So you have one eye 1, eye 2. These are the two eyes, and they call this the third eye. That means after you do Kriya, there will be an eye there. Or psychics can see the eye. It's not because of that. Now, look at an object here in this room. Look at an object. Just one object. Look at one object now, please. Okay, I'm looking at the clock. Okay, now look at that object with your eyes open. Look at that object, study the object, memorize the object. Look at one object in front of you, look at it without blinking, look at it, relax and look, study the object. Now, after reaching, I'm going to count 1 to 5. When I reach 5, I want you to close your eyes and recall the image which you are looking right at now. Now you are looking at an object. When you close your eyes, I want you to recall that image in the count of 5. Still open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close the eyes. Recall that image, that exact image in your mind. Okay, now open. Were you able to see? Right? Okay, technically you should technically can. So that means what happens is, your eyes were closed. The two eyes were closed and you are able to see. And that seeing is what they called as the third eye. With the eyes closed, I can still see. Now, if I ask you to close your eyes and then close your eyes and imagine a red rose, can? Okay, so they can see, right? Or if I ask you to imagine the sun, can? Okay, so you can see with the eyes closed. So this is an ancient way of saying that, hey, you see, means there's an eye inside, but there's no eye inside. There is no eye inside, but it's an expression of an old way of saying that, hey, you're seeing with your inner eye. And they train us further that even if the eyes are not able to discern what is real and what is not real, what is good and what is bad, if the eyes are not, then please close your eyes and meditate, dive deep inside and find the truth. Your eyes are closed, your physical eyes are closed, but the inner eye, the eye is called the eye of wisdom. Closing the eyes, contemplation, re-evaluation. Again you attempt to understand, and then you find the closest to the fact that is closest to the truth. It's quite difficult to find the truth right now, but we are going towards nearer and nearer with the eyes closed. With the eyes open, we are distracted by it. Because with the eyes open, people can change our perception. In the courts, a lawyer who is able to sweet talk, who is very good in articulating, in finding some kind of a method to convince, would be able to convince the person to be released, to be found not guilty, even if the person is guilty, because we are swayed by what we see. In philosophy, we call this as Maya, illusion. When I say we, I'm not talking about you. Generally, the whole world is swayed by what they see, what they are able to hear. It could be totally manipulated. It could be totally poisoned and lies, but they are moved, thinking that this is the truth. An entire nation like Germany was influenced by what they saw. Hitler was a great orator, very good speaker, great orator. They saw, they heard. They saw and they heard him speak, and he was able to convince them to do acts which normally they will never do. Despicable, evil things which no human being would do to their neighbor. He motivated, he influenced them, he brainwashed them by asking them to look at me, hear me, and he pushed them to do those kind of acts which until now cannot be forgotten. See how bad, see how much we cannot 100% believe our senses. We cannot believe our senses. We have to go inside and re-evaluate. We have to think harder. We have to think deeper. Information, I'm sourcing from information from my senses, from my eyes. I'm sourcing from my ears. I'm sourcing from my smell. I'm sourcing from my taste. I'm sourcing from my touch. I'm sourcing. No, fine, good. You are sourcing. But the final evaluation has to be done inside. There has to be deeper thinking. Everybody is thinking like that doesn't mean it is true. It could be, there could be, all of them could be manipulated. Deeper. What is scarcity right now is depth thinking. You have to think deeper. You have to find and dig deep until you find the truth. And this is so important. We cannot just dismiss it. Oh, why should I spend time thinking about that? The truth is what we are here for. You are living because you want to find the truth. Don't tell me you want to live your whole life in illusion, in lies, in people who have the whole system is geared towards just bringing you into a hypnotized state. That means you are controlled by some information and some form of so-called fact which allows you to behave in such a way. You have to break that. We have to come out from that brainwashing. How do we come out from all this brainwashing? By going deep inside. By meditation, you are able to see. One day you wake up and say, oh my God, whole life I have lived in this illusion. By people who are themselves in illusion, who believe in that. But right now, by these practices and this depth, I wake up to a new life. A life which is free from all this. And that's where you find the light. We talk about light. Enlightenment is this. Enlightenment is simply greater understanding. Okay, now where are we? Trikuti. I've been speaking about Trikuti. Now Ajna is the same. Ajna is the same. Ajna, another name for Ajna is the command center. Command. You need to command the information that is coming from any source. You have to see, you have to listen, you have to practice vichara. Vichara means introspection. And then first you start by viveka. Viveka means this particular news comes to you, you are seeing this, you are hearing this, someone talks to you, you are hearing this YouTube, you are hearing this sermon, you are reading this book. First you have to discern. true or not true? Can accept or cannot accept? Is this fanaticism or is it liberal? Is it okay or not okay? Is it giving me hatred or is it opening up my mind to greater goodness? First, that discern. Viveka. Good, not good. True, not true. Then, don't take it yet. We have another process. This is a work of ajna. We have another process called vichara. Vichara means dissect that. Take time to dissect. Is this true or not? Is it deep enough? Have I thought deeper? Have I spent time here deepening my thought into this particular subject matter? Attempting to find the truth, and we have to work hard. We cannot just open the TV and then for 5 hours just allow us to not think. Once in a while, okay, you just want to let go and you want to just think, you just want to, it's okay. But most of the time you have to sit there and you start thinking. Start thinking, and it will give you such great pleasure in finding the truth. It will give you that euphoria, that eureka moments by the depth of thinking. Then you become not a factory produced kind of individual going to with your 5 friends and just talking the same subject matter for 20 years. There's no personality. This is factory produced. No growth. 20 years, same topic. Same topic. Talking about high school, talking about this girlfriend, boyfriend. This. Talking about this political person. No subject matter. Factory produced. You need to be men or women, men and women of character, of intelligence. Deep thinking. You may not have education. Though that is nothing. So there are so many PhDs who have no depth. Just memorize knowledge. You need to be men and women of original thinking. What is your learning? Let's say Form 3. It doesn't matter. You are talking like a genius. People should be impressed. Form 3, Form 5 only, never been to college. But you are a genius. Where did you come from? I've never met this kind of thinker. That is how impressive. You should be. Original thinking comes from where? Comes from diving deep inside. We have the tools. That is the ajna. Ajna's function is deeper thinking. And we have the energy to deep think. We can handle our family. We have energy to handle our work. We can do our work. We can take care of our family. We can do some part-time. We can do so many activities, and yet my mind is deepening because I got the energy to do this. I have plenty of energy because of my practices, because of that 1 hour practice which I do every day, and I've been doing it so consistently, and the chakrams has what? Has accumulated the energy. When I practice, the chakras spin, and then where do they place the energy? They place it here. Whenever I want to extract the energy, it is there. It's just flowing up, and then I can handle it. There's no stress. No stress. You can go 6 hours working, come back when your spouse or your children come and talk to you, you are happy. Because you got energy. A person who has no energy, what is going to happen? After 8 hours of work, come back home and the daughter comes rushing to you, oh mommy or daddy, I'm so tired, talk to you later. You understand what I'm saying? No. Here, no. After 8 hours of work, you come home, oh my darling, I love you so much. You're so happy. The family is waiting for your arrival. Because you are such a pleasant person. You bring happiness. Who wants somebody who is pessimistic or angry or always complaining? Nobody likes it. It's just a matter of duty, you come home. But the family looks forward to this son or this daughter or this husband or this wife who comes bringing good news. You go anywhere, people are happy to receive you. Because of your abundance of energy triggered by the practices, and your deep thinking gives you a personality. This is a personality. Original thinker. The words that is coming from him is no other books that is written. Wow, amazing. You understand what I'm saying? Then we'll go to the next point, which is here. Okay, this is a very interesting point at the back top, the top back of the head, called the Bindu. Bindu means point. It makes a point, and this point is the originating point. The point where evolution began. In an embryonic state, this is the point which develops first. Now, yogis were not able to see, they didn't have the equipments to find out what is the development of the embryo, right, where it starts. But interestingly enough, in modern medicine, in modern equipment, they have seen that the first point of beginning for an embryo is at that point. That is the point where everything starts. But the yogis have mentioned this as the point which everything begins. Is the point of the beginning of everything. So which means is the source, right? This is the source. Meditating on the Bindu reveals the source of existence. Meditating on the Bindu reveals so much of the source of our existence and where everything started. And that is for you to find out. If I say anything, then you will think that I'm kind of like putting information into your mind or brain. So you go and meditate and find out what Bindu is capable of. And what I can tell you is Bindu is capable of revealing the source of existence, where and why, and what we are here for. What is the reason of this life? What is the purpose of life? Is this important to know? We need to know. It cannot be. It is too superficial to think that you are born and then you grow, you go to school, you go to college, or you don't go to college, it doesn't matter, and then after that you get married or you don't get married, and then you have children or you don't have children, and then you grow old and then you die. Is that the story? It cannot be, isn't it? It should not be this story. There must be something else to your story, and that something else which will make us value and appreciate our existence is here. The source is here. So Bindu. And finally, final chakra. So everyone say Bindu. 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 The final one, which is right at the top of the head. The location is from the ears. See, from the ears, you go up, from this, the center of the ears, you bring your fingers up, and then bring one finger down here, and you go up, and then you should touch that point, right? So from here, and from here, you find that point. It's right in the center, right? Right in the center. So if it is like this, if this is your head, then it should be right in the center. So this is your ears, and this is your nose. You got that? Yeah, right in the center, at the crown. When you do the headstand, that is the point which is prominently on the floor, right in the center, right? So that is called Sahasrara. Sahasrara. Everyone say? Sahasrara. Sahasrara is the crown chakra. Sahasrara means 1,000 petaled. You know, like the flower, the rose has petals, like that. This is a depiction of 1,000 petals. But the word 1,000 in yogic literature actually is supposed to mean infinite, uncountable. The word Sahasrara, even though it is a direct translation is 1,000, but in actual meaning, in terms of practice, it denotes or depicts infinite potential. Infinite. Unfathomable. You cannot fathom it. It's so deep like that. You cannot understand it. So that means when you cannot, you yearn to understand. You cannot understand, but you yearn to understand. Will you ever give up? It's your curiosity, right? The curiosity to reach that. Always going towards, you don't know what is the feeling there. Does this person have any feelings? And I'm not sure. So you are always pursuing, always, it's a mystery, it's very enchanting, always captivating you. The moment you know, you grasp it, you will look for something else, correct? Right? If it is already in hand, then this, why are you laughing? This lifelong attractive Sahasrara all the time is so mysterious, so beautiful. Every time you go and connect that, some beautiful sensation and feelings in Sahasrara, something so deep and such depth that I have not been able to taste it today. I have to go tomorrow. Tomorrow I want to sit down and then I want to touch base with what is there inside. And then after that, third day, fourth day, and you see it's almost 12 years. And still it is mysterious. I want to go one more mandala, another 12 years. We continue going, and then finally it will reveal. What will it reveal? A glimpse of infinity. So many years it has been a mystery, and finally reveals only a glimpse. But that glimpse is enough for you to let go of everything and pursue it. That's how powerful the glimpse is, because it's a glimpse of eternity. Everything else is finite, but that glimpse is infinite. No wonder when we look at the history of self-realization and enlightenment, great kings, Maharajas, just like that, left everything and went in pursuit of that. That means they found something which none of the pleasures in their kingdom was able to give. Something which only they had felt. Something so remarkable and so enchanting that they could leave every pleasure that this flesh can give for that. That is at the Sahasrara. But I'm sorry to say that you will not be able to leave your kingdom. That you will not leave and pack your bags. Hey, I'm going to leave my kingdom because there's no kingdom to begin with. Number two, balance. We are practicing balance, right? Remember I mentioned that we are going to find self-realization and enlightenment where? In Bangsa, in Stapa, in wherever you come from, you are going to find it there. You understand? This whole structure is based on that. Now today, we are going to do this one Kriya number 2. We are not practicing Kriya number 1 because first we have to get the Kriya number 2 in order. Then we go and practice Kriya number 1. Then we will practice Kriya number 1, number 2 in that structure. But today, the objective of today's learning is to learn the first Kriya. So the first Kriya is that, now this is the theory. Where's the practical? Now I'm going to talk to you about the practical. The practical is very simple. The practical is, so the practice is done in a sitting position. Or you can even use a chair. You can sit on a chair, you can sit in this Sukhasana, easy pose, or you can lean against the wall. It can even be done lying down on the bed. But when you lie down on the bed, there's one problem, we may fall asleep. So that's the only problem that we may have. So, but the other important component of this is that we keep our eyes half open. So it's either half open or half closed. Which one do you choose? It's the same. Okay, so it's like this, right? Half, and they have a name for this. They call this Mani Mudra. U-N-M-A-N-I. Mani Mudra. Mudra means a gesture. Mani Mudra. So this Mani Mudra means drowsy state. Eyes are, you're not closing the eyes. It's not fully open. Drowsy state. And it is, you induce yourself to feel like you put your eyes into that drowsy looking state. From there, then you practice this particular Kriya. And the Kriya is practiced like this. You start from the top. And today we can use our hand. And after some time, you don't have to use the hand. In the beginning, you use your hand. You touch your Sahasrara. And you repeat in your mind Sahasrara. Everyone, but today we will say it loud. Okay, everybody say it. Sahasrara. Trikuti. Visuddhi. This is here at the pit. Visuddhi. Center of the sternum. Anahata. Navel. Manipura. And then the pubic bone. Everyone say Swadhisthana. And then just point from here, Muladhara. And you know where Muladhara is. And then bring the finger behind and touch the tailbone, the coccyx. Swadhisthana. And then bring the hand and maybe you can use your thumb to touch the Manipura just behind the navel. Right, just behind the navel, touch that point in the spine, Manipura. And then from here, you go and touch the back of your sternum bone, right at the back of the heart, and repeat in your mind, Anahata. And then the back of the neck, where the C7 is, Visuddhi. And then you point to the middle of the head. I mean, we cannot go inside, so we have to point from outside. So this is the middle of the head. We say Ajna. And remember Bindu? Bindu is right at the back of the head, where the back and the top meets. This point is Bindu. You know, sometimes you see like children have that circle there, that point, right? So that is Bindu. And then top of the head, Sahasrara. This is one round. And then we continue. Okay, let's start. And the next 2 rounds, we are going to go continuously. Right? Breathing is normal. Normal breathing, eyes, drowsy state. Okay, everybody. Sahasrara. Trikuti. Visuddhi. Anahata. Manipura. Swadhisthana. Muladhara. Swadhisthana. Manipura. Anahata. Visuddhi. Ajna. Bindu. Sahasrara. Trikuti. Visuddhi. Anahata. Manipura. Swadhisthana. Muladhara. Swadhisthana. Manipura. Anahata. Visuddhi. Ajna. Bindu. Sahasrara. Okay. Now we are going to do without the fingers. Okay, without the fingers, we are going to attempt to do this. Okay, let's start. Sahasrara. Bring your awareness to the Sahasrara and repeat. Sahasrara. Trikuti. Visuddhi. Anahata. Manipura. Swadhisthana. Muladhara. Swadhisthana. Manipura. Anahata. Visuddhi. Ajna. Bindu,
Bindu,
Sahasrara.
Sahasrara.
Were you able to get that? Alright. Now we are going to silently say. Okay, this time silently you say, but you use your finger. You use your finger. Right? You don't have to say, but you use your finger. I will be the only one who is saying it, but you place your finger. Where I say, you place your finger. Okay, ready? Sahasrara, Visuddhi. Mana Visuddhi, right? Okay. Visuddhi. Trikuti. Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana, mana. Okay. Anahata. Bindu. Bukan pintu, Bindu. Anahata. Doesn't matter back or front, up to you. Okay, never mind, I will tell you now. Manipura behind. Manipura behind. Hey. Manipura behind. Ajna behind. There is no Ajna behind. Where's Ajna? Okay. Correct. Ajna. And Visuddhi in front. Where go Visuddhi here? Where is Visuddhi? Visuddhi is here. Okay, Visuddhi in front. Manipura behind. Swadhisthana in front. Muladhara behind. I don't know, Muladhara is only front. Muladhara. Sahasrara in front. Confused. Sahasrara is only one. Is only at the top. Yes, Sahasrara. Trikuti. Alright, good. Okay, everybody, Sahasrara. Show me. Trikuti. Visuddhi. Anahata. Manipura. Swadhisthana. Muladhara, and then behind Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Visuddhi, Ajna, Bindu, Sahasrara. Oh, wonderful! Congratulations. So you end where? You end at the Sahasrara. We start with the Sahasrara, we end with the Sahasrara. So what you will do is, you will do, every time you sit, you will do 5 rounds. You start here and you come back is 1 round. Second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round. So for this week, you can verbalize, you can touch. But after some time, it is more internal. It is mental repetition and we don't use the finger anymore. But this week, because we are training, you can do that. Now remember, there is Kriya and there is Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga means when you sit, you finish 5. Kriya means anytime you can just rotate. You can just think about any chakra. That's a chakra practice. Now let's say you are driving your car. Can you do this practice?
Yes.
With drowsy eyes?
No.
No, alright? When you are driving your car, not drowsy eyes. Keep the eyes open. And then, when you are driving your car, would you do Muladhara, Swadhisthana? That's wrong already. No, not when you are driving your car, you go and do like this. People driving next to you will complain, there's something wrong with this person, Muladhara, Swadhisthana. And then you are carpooling, and then people like 5 people in the 1 passenger, 3 people. And then you say, I want to practice Muladhara, Swadhisthana. Also wrong. They say, hey, where got Muladhara here? Somebody has knowledge. So, no. when you are driving with people in the car, you incognito, quietly. You see around, quietly you do, right? And then let's say you are traveling, you are going to work by bus or LRT. Bus or LRT. Swadhisthana, Muladhara, not only is it wrong, but you are disturbing people. So in public transport, you just quietly, drowsy eyes, and then quietly nobody notices what? Drowsy eyes. Anybody notice you also think, hey, maybe under some kind of intoxication, it's okay. Nah? But in public places, please do not. Sahasrara, Trikuti, don't be so enthusiastic. And then, let's say you go home today, you want to practice in your room. Sahasrara, Trikuti, Vishuti. People will rush to your room. Hey, what happened? What Kriya is this? What you are in a cult? Who is your teacher? When Bangsa, I won't meet him. Please don't get me into trouble. Okay? Everything do discreetly, quietly do. Nobody there. If somebody there, if someone there, he says quiet. Do without showing all of this. So, you see, the thing is, I don't want you to get me into trouble, and then I don't want people to judge you. There is some kind of cult, some funny teaching going on. You understand. Now, I have spoken to you for 3 hours, you understand. If somebody asks you, explain to them in 5 minutes, they will not be able to understand what. So, most of the practices, we keep it a bit quiet and incognito. It's a private practice, quietly you do, and then you practice. Now, for example, you are practicing in your room, and suddenly your son or daughter comes in. They come in to the room, and then they want to play with you. And then there's a moment, Sara, Trikuti, Suri, and then they come. And they say, don't disturb me, I'm practicing yoga, Then the child is, who's your teacher? I called the teacher. He said, my mommy was so nice last time, she asked me to play. Now, after you teach her, she's like, Sara, Trikuti, I come, she don't want to let me to play with her. I want to see you come to my house for birthday, I want to throw the cake at you. So no, if you are practicing and your child comes, stop the practice, play with the child. And then you are practicing, they switch on the TV. Hey, close the TV, I want to practice, I want to concentrate, I'm practicing yoga. Yoga gets a bad name. Who's your teacher? Manisekaran, bad name. It's okay. Let them watch TV, make noise. It's okay. We are talking about balance, isn't it? It's okay. There is noise. We don't need to control the whole world. We don't need to put up in the Facebook. Okay, this particular time, whole world should keep quiet because I want to practice. No. You should be as normal as possible. This is what we want. We want to be seen as normal people, and we want people to love us because you are practicing, you are better, you are nicer, you are much more friendlier. This is what we want. You see, it's so practical, isn't it? You make it like that. Understand? So these are things which may seem a bit funny, but it is true. If I don't speak about it, then we may become a bit too serious. Too serious. No, it's not. We must be serious in the practice, but not serious, totally a serious character. Cool, relax, take your time, enjoy the practice. And then you read this book. It says, best practice is 4 o'clock in the morning. Always you wake up at 8 o'clock. Suddenly you start to wake up at 4 o'clock. You will not be a happy person. You will be cranky. 4 o'clock, Brahma Muhurta, 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. I want to practice because I want to get all the positive vibrations from the universe. 4 o'clock. 9, 10 o'clock in the office, you are already drowsy state. Not because of the Anmani Mudra, because you are just tired. Boss come and ask you to do work. No, I'm too tired. Wake up at 4 o'clock, practice yoga. Which yoga? Bangsa. Okay, I'm good. No, you don't have to wake up at 4 o'clock. Wake up at whatever time that you are comfortable with, and then you practice just a little bit of 5, 10, 20 minutes. And then if that is not possible, practice after you come back from work. So we have to be as practical as possible. This is not our lifestyle is not conducive to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, spend few hours and then go to work and become more stressed and more trouble. We don't want that. We must be very realistic. Okay, alright. So thank you very much for attending the class today and enjoy practicing. And if there are any questions, you can always communicate with me. And I would like to wish you and your family and your loved ones may all enjoy good health, long life, prosperity, happiness, wisdom, peace, and self-realization. Namaskar. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.